That's so nice. Hi everyone, welcome to our channel, A Story of 8. My name is Heather. If you're new here, I am very new to YouTube, but I wanted to sit down today and share with you a little bit about our youngest daughter, Shiloh. If you've seen any of our other videos, you may have noticed that she has glasses and she wears hearing aids, and you may have heard us talk about her having different therapies. So I thought it would be good to sit down and just kind of let you know what's going on with her. So before I let you know what's happening today, I'll sort of just give you a brief backstory about her birth and what happened with her. I am planning on doing a birth story for her, but I really want to honor her birth and give it its own space. There's kind of a lot to tell there. So yeah, I won't go into all the details, but I want to give you sort of an idea of where we're coming from. So when Shiloh was born, she had a very, very traumatic birth. Her heart stopped during my labor, and she was born by an emergency cesarean section. And when they pulled her out, they found that she had the cord wrapped around her neck 4 times very tightly. She wasn't breathing, she had no heart rate, she had APGARs of 0, and it took the doctors, a team of doctors, a very long time to resuscitate her and to get any life back into her little body. It took them almost 11 minutes actually before there was any sign of life coming back into her. So that's sort of how she started. She had an MRI scan done several days after she was born, and an EEG also done. Both of those kind of look at what's going on in the brain, what your brain waves are looking like, and the MRI takes kind of pictures to give an idea of what's going on in there, and they both came back very bad. Yeah, it was bad news all around. They said that Shiloh had suffered severe hypoxia, which means that her body and her brain were deprived of oxygen, and for her it was for such a long period of time that she sustained really significant brain damage across pretty much all areas of her brain except her brainstem. Her brainstem was mostly spared, but it had a little bit of damage, but it was mostly spared. But all the other areas of her brain had severe damage. So I remember our consultant sat us down and said, you really need to prepare yourselves. If your daughter survives, you're looking at kind of the worst scenario, if you can imagine, the worst disability that you've seen. It's going to be like that, and maybe worse. We were just sort of told to expect nothing from Shiloh, that she probably wouldn't be able to eat, that she wouldn't be able to talk, wouldn't move her body on her own, that she would have severe learning disabilities and developmental delays. So yeah, we were given a very bleak prognosis for her. So that was a really difficult time for our family, as you can imagine. It was very unexpected. All of my other pregnancies and births have been really normal. I've had really fast labors, and I went into this birth thinking that, you know, everything was going to be fine and she was going to be out in you know, an hour, and that just wasn't what happened. So it was a huge shock to our family, and just, yeah, it was just a really rough time. We spent about 3 weeks in the NICU with Shiloh, and we just reached out to all of our friends and family and sort of let them know what had happened and what was going on with Shiloh, that she was in the NICU, and we just saw an outpouring of love and support. We had people all over the world, hundreds of people, praying for her and sending money to support our family as we traveled back and forth to the hospital. We had people providing food. So yeah, although it was a really scary and fearful time for me and for the rest of my family, for my husband Carlo, we just really felt that God was upholding our family and that he was going to take care of us and that he was going to take care of Shiloh. And yeah, we just kept banging on that door. I don't think I've ever prayed so much in my life. I kind of fluctuated from praying constantly to crying constantly, and yeah, it was just a whole roller coaster of emotions. We were desperately in love with this little baby, but she was in the NICU covered in cords. She had a feeding tube in, she was on a ventilator for her breathing. The girl had all the cords. She was like, a baby cyborg. She just had all the stuff going on, and it was honestly terrifying. I had never experienced anything like that with any of my other births. Any of my other children, they were all sort of healthy, really typical normal births, and to go from that to a very medicalized, just all the things kind of birth, and especially with the doctors sort of telling us this is going to be so bad, she's going to be so profoundly disabled, and just prepare yourselves for a life like that. And it was terrifying because we knew this is going to change our whole lives. It's not just her, it's going to be our whole family. So yeah, it was a really difficult time, but through it all, we just felt such a sense of God's love. And my husband especially, he's usually quite a quiet, shy, laid back kind of a guy, and he just stepped up to the plate. He was like there every minute at the hospital with me and just encouraging me and saying, God's got this, like, we need to trust in him, it's gonna be okay, she is going to be okay. And I was like sitting on the bathroom floor in floods of tears constantly. But yeah, we just really felt God's provision through our friends and our family, and especially the doctors that worked so tirelessly on Shiloh and really brought her back to life. Fast forward to today, Shiloh is now 15 months old. She was born in April of 2018. She was actually born on Easter morning. And she has just defied all medical expectation of what she can do and the little girl that she is and who God made her to be. She is just joyful and funny and full of personality, and she's just wonderful, and we adore her. We are so grateful to be her parents. She does have some issues that are a result of her brain trauma when she was a baby. She has right-sided hemiplegia, so that means that basically the right side of her body doesn't function as it normally would. So she has a lot of stiffness in her muscles, and she can't really use her right side to play with toys. But even that is improving all of the time. Now if you ask her to give you a high five, she tries really hard to do it, and it's not the same as the left side of her body, which seems to be functioning totally normally. But she's trying really hard, and yeah, those little pathways in her brain are getting stronger, and we are just so excited to see who she's going to become and what she's going to be able to do, because so far she has just baffled our medical community here. Every time I take her in, they say, this girl and this MRI just do not match. She shouldn't be able to do any of these things. So yeah, she's just kind of our miracle baby. So she has the hemiplegia on the right side of her body because it was the left side of her brain that sustained the greatest damage, and the left side of your brain controls the right side of your body and vice versa. So she's got the hemiplegia, but she also does have some vision issues, which is why she has little baby glasses, which I think are very cute. I think she kind of looks like a little old lady with glasses, and she does have little baby hearing aids. When she was about 3 months old, we found out at about 3 months old that she had some moderate hearing loss. So for Shiloh, it can look different. Hearing loss is different with everyone, but for Shiloh, she can hear very well, sort of like normal range voices and singing and things like that. But anything that's a very high pitch, she struggles to hear. So she does have hearing aids for that. And also she has little glasses because when she was a baby, I said, something is going on, something is not quite right with her eyes, and her right one in particular. Baby's eyes always kind of like move around, and you know, they kind of like go cross-eyed and stuff when they're babies, but hers, when she was getting to 3 or 4 months, it wasn't really changing. So I took her to an ophthalmologist, which is an eye specialist who works with the eyes, but also understands sort of like the brain-eye connection. And they said that they thought she had a squint in her right eye. So her right eye turns in a lot. So the glasses are to help correct that. We don't really know exactly what her future will look like with hemiplegia. Most children do learn to do things like walk and talk and run around, but at a much later stage. So instead of walking at 1, they might walk at 3 or 4. So yeah, at the moment it's just sort of a waiting game, and we are just loving on our baby. Anyways, we are so thankful for our daughter. She is just an amazing baby. She is funny and sweet and chubby, and yeah, I just, you know, I could go on and on. We are totally obsessed with her. But yeah, that's kind of her brief backstory. There's a lot more to tell around her birth and sort of what went on, but that's kind of an overview of what's going on with her now. If you see her in any videos wearing glasses and then not wearing glasses, or wearing hearing aids and then not, there is a very good reason for that, and that is that she is a 15-month-old baby. So if you've ever tried to put like a headband on a baby or something, sort of imagine that kind of a scenario times like 100. She just takes those things off nonstop all day long. So we're working really hard with our doctors, trying to help her to adjust to those things, to wear them more frequently, but we are just normal people. You know, in an ideal world, I would just put them on and she would leave them there, but that's not really what happens. She's just a little baby and she wants to take them out and she wants to eat them, and we've discussed with our doctor and really feel ourselves that we don't want us putting her hearing aids in or her glasses on to become something that she associates as bad, because at the moment she really doesn't like wearing them, honestly. She just doesn't like it. And so if she has them off sometimes, it's because she's taken them off, and we are just doing our best to give her a couple minutes and then to put them back on. But yeah, if you see her and she's not wearing them, that's why. She's just a baby, and you know, we're working on it. So anyways, I hope this video can be encouraging to someone. When Shiloh was born, I was really researching a lot, reading lots of things all the time, just searching for other stories where something like this had happened. I felt very alone. No one that I know has ever gone through anything like this, and I was just desperate to find out anything I could, and I found lots and lots of medical information, but honestly, stories of people's actual lives and how they lived life with a child who has special needs like Shiloh's were really few and far between. So yeah, one of the reasons I decided to start doing YouTube videos is that I really wanted to reach out and encourage people, you know, if you're going through something like this, it might be totally different, but if you're living a life that is full of all those hospital appointments and all the extra sort of care things and therapy things that come with a child like Shiloh, you are not alone, and I would just really encourage you to keep fighting for your child if you've been through something like this. Keep sitting down on the floor and doing those therapy exercises, keep putting on those glasses, keep putting in those hearing aids, and most of all, keep praying for your kids, because we have really experienced just miracles in Shiloh's life. We are just super thankful for Shiloh. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too terribly long. It's very hard to condense the past year and a half into like a 10-minute video. So hopefully it wasn't too long, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea about what's going on with our baby, why she's not walking, why she has so much headgear going on. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching.